Hashem. Okay, so now we're going to learn a little bit of the Chesed from summary of the Arizal in Chanukah. So now we have to know what's my Chanukah. What in the world is Chanukah, right? So he says, Chanukah and Purim, the Chesed from says, I believe now that I will send a picture of this with the email that I sent out. I'm going to hopefully send a picture of this sefer so you can follow it inside. Otherwise, it's very hard to hear a text, and hopefully, we'll talk a lot of the Chasidus and Avodah here. The Chanukah and Purim, Chanukah and Purim have more added kedusha more than during the weekdays. Similar to what happened on Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Rosh Chodesh, but it's not exactly the same. The way it works is like this. Generally speaking, during the days of the weekdays, there's the Bechina that's the masculine Bechina, and the Bechina that's the feminine Bechina. But like we were speaking about the last time we did this, which we unfortunately didn't tape, everything from Hashem, also ran out of space in the card. But the Maseh, there's two aspects. There's two aspects that every person has on every level. One aspect is Mashpia, and one aspect is Makabel. There's an aspect of a person who's able to give over. There's an aspect of a person who needs to receive. Right? Generally speaking, when you need in the place where you need to receive, you need help. You're not holding by too much. You don't have that much. We're all in different levels. When we're talking about here is the different bechinas of Malchus, right? So in terms of Malchus, the person really they don't really have much. It's called the Shem Ben. Right, very big kids to the Hashem to bring the Arizal says Ben, the Shem Ben of Malchus, which again you write the Shem Havaya Yud Vav Dalid, and then Hey Hey, Vav Vav, and Hey Hey. That's a Shem Ben. That adds up to 52, and that is Gematria Behema, and that signifies that the Yud Vav Dalid is always the same, the Yud, but like Hey, you don't have a Hey, you have to get a Hey to have a Hey. Vav, you don't have a Vav, Vav and Vav, and then Hey, another Hey, because you have to get everything you have to be given. And that's the person in a spiritual state where they're really having a difficult time. Things are difficult. They don't. It's very hard to.
Is that why it's last on the list? It's by Hanek and.
It's the last bechina. It's the last bechina. However you want to say it, because it's the lowest level. It's the lowest level where a person is like he's like the moon. It needs to get from the sun. You don't get from the sun. You're dark. You have to get shine on the sun. You don't get. You're not really. It's not happening. You're always getting. We'll do that also, B'ez Hashem. Maybe even soon. We'll see. We'll talk about all these things with the Avodah. Very good, B'ez Hashem. But right now we're starting with Ben. And the truth is, the moon always receives from the sun. But in order for it to influence the earth, which means like the material self, right? It has to shine. The more it shines, the more light you have in the darkness. And that's again, this is the idea. The Malchus is revealed in the darkness. When we're having a hard time, when things are difficult, when something particular is difficult, that's when the person's afraid about certain things. A person gets angry by certain things. A person has trouble with his desires. Whatever it is, he's having a hard time. He feels like he's going to flip and lose it. That's called the Malchus. So the Malchus, generally speaking, is on the higher level that builds it. It's going to be on the Hode. That's on the Hode. Hode means admitting. Right? Every person has these 10 different aspects depending where they're holding. And Hashem, He relates to the world through these 10 aspects. Even though, like we said last time, it's important to stress Hashem is one. There's no different levels. But how we perceive Him is there are different possible ways of how you perceive Him. The Netach-Hode is like the feet. It's on the lower level when a person's got to keep moving, keep going. So we have a way of revealing godliness or distancing ourselves from godliness with our capacity that's called Hode, which means admitting or thanking or praising. So if you want praise, so you're not revealing Hashem in the Hode. You're doing if you want praise, if I want praise. So I'm trying to reveal myself through the aspect of the Hode. If I want to praise Hashem, if I want to admit that I'm making a mistake, or again, Yehudi, like Rav Nosson brings, maybe I think it's from earlier as well, but Rav Nosson for sure says this idea that Yehudi is because of Hodah. And the Chasidus they talk about it a lot also. Shmuel, it's brought in a lot of places, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure that's put down. That Yehudi means Hodah, means praising Hashem and admitting and thanking. All these things is what it means to be a Jew. You have to use the power of Hode. Even when things are hard, okay, but I admit that like it's from Hashem and I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what this is about. I don't understand what level I'm on or what's happening to me. I don't understand. I admit it. I don't know. Right? And the aspect, that's called aspect makabel, where you need to receive, you need to be built up. Then you have the aspect that's called netzach. Right? Netzach is where the mashpia aspect that you're generally speaking dealing with, that's where that is on, because the lower level of the higher aspects is going to build all the levels of the lower aspect. And that means that when you're a parent, or when you're on a different level than somebody else, you can't give over everything you understand to them. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't talk, you have to talk in ways that they'll be able to relate to and understand. You can't say, like a parent, this kid he's not mature enough, he doesn't get it.
It's the night of Chabad.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Nai builds, the higher level builds all the other levels, from the beginning to the end, all the other levels. And that's this aspect of, just like a child only comes up to sign like the legs of the parent, that's it. Because also intellectually, and also emotionally, the child's not really holding by getting much. When he's 2, 3 years old, when he's 8 years old, he can get more, but he's still not really getting it. But he should. So really there's realities, until you're 13, you haven't got a chance of really getting it. Even at 13, there are things that slowly but surely you get. We know, you can't sell land. You got inheritance till you're 20. Because you get a certain maturity then. There's a story with, I think it was with Mazel's, I believe, that the government tried to make exile. They say, you Jews say that boys and girls come to majority at 12 and 13. We'd like to have these priests talk to the boys and girls about their faith at 13. Because they already achieved majority, they're adult.
Okay.
So he said, you're not allowed to sell land until you're 20 because you might not understand the ramifications of what you're doing. He said, certainly your nachal, your inheritance, your Jewish inheritance, your connection to the Arizal-Chasidus, you cannot discuss until you're at least 20 years old. So he got out of the problem. When you're talking to 20 kids, they're mature, just doing mitzvahs, but they're not really, 13 or 14 is not really, you're not holding necessarily by the maturity. So really, of course, we know, as Rav Nosson said, and it's brought in posting this idea, he said even the Gra, and the Gra at 7 or 8 knew better than anybody in Vilna. Nobody could teach him because he knew better. He was just too brilliant and connected. Not just brilliant, he was just connected. His stories, he was like 6, and he was like, someone sees in Simchas Torah, this little kid, it's like they have these giant Gemaras. I don't know if they even printed small at that time. The Vilna Shas, like these huge monsters. My father has one, he sees like turning the pages. It's Zvachim, like hard Gemara, impossibly hard. The first 40 is Zvachim B'frat. It's just so hard. It's just really hard. People like run into, I know a big lamb he's like, no, I couldn't do Zvachim, forget it. I hit Zvachim and like, this guy was shy, the Choshev Mishpat, he's dying, he's like, when I got to Zvachim, I just stopped. I stopped with that for him. I'm like, forget it, I just couldn't do it. Forget it. No, I'm done. And you like encourage me, like, no, don't worry, the first 40 daf is harder, but then it gets like normal culture, which is also super impossibly hard, but not the same as those first 40 daf, your Taka challenge, like, Taka hard, and there's this like 5 or 6 year old like, she's like turning pages, maybe it was every minute a page, maybe 2 minutes a page, maybe 3 minutes, it wasn't 5 minutes a page, he was going through it.
Possible.
That's exactly it. So someone's looking at this 6 years like, okay, this kid is like, okay, he's pretending to be the Lador, he needs a little bit of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to bring him down from his very swollen head probably, because the kid's like, he's like in this La La Land delusional fantasy, and he knows the Gemara. These impossibly hard Gemaras, he's just like moving through it, like, maybe it was 5, I don't even know if it was 5 minutes, because he finished it that night, and how long the night was, you can figure out how long it took him. It was several hours, whatever. And he seemed to be reading it. It was like you read the Gemara. It's not really, you know what I mean? In Vilna, you're 6. Maybe someone should teach you out base instead of, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Or Mishnah. Learn something like on your Chomesh. Learn on your level. Who told you to learn some stories? You like read Torah. You have to feel like you're Moshe. So he went over to him. He started talking. He's like, so what are you doing? He's like, we're not learning. So he said, no, he was learning. He was learning Zvachim. So he's like, you understand? He's like, sure. So he started talking to him. He's like, this kid knew it much better. He knew it pretty well. He's one of the older Lamdanim. He's like, this kid like put it in his back pocket. Like this 6-year-old knew much better. Gemara Rashi told us he gets it. He's reading it. It's a good question. He's reading it whatever 2 minutes a page or 3 minutes or 4, like not much. 5 minutes a page, and he gets it. And the man's in the middle. Like this kid is in the middle of his Zvachim. He's gonna finish this the whole night. He's gonna get through the whole tractate, and it's probably quite likely that it wasn't the first time he was learning it. So it's like, okay, whatever, right? So Shlomo Zalman is like, you think at 10 years old he didn't understand like a 13-year-old or regular 13 or 14-year-old or a 20-year-old? He had understanding enough. He understood about mitzvahs, everything that's about Ketanim, not relevant to him, but it doesn't matter. He's still a lach of a katan. He can't even start coming in because there's a reality. There's 13 minutes of rachel that you have to reach and whatever inyanim you kind of get to, whatever that is, at 13. Until 13, I don't care. You write tefillin, they're not kosher. You like whatever you do, you're still a kid. I don't care if you do.
Right.
So there are realities that govern all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So the Maisa, we have this bechina that's called the mashpia and the makabel, right? Everybody has these different areas. So the bechina is called mashpia. So again, everything is these realities. So what was I trying to say? I'm sorry about that. So generally speaking, though, when a person's younger, they're getting from the person who's older, understands more experience, just what they can hear. What they can understand. The Gemara says you don't get it to your Rebbe's, you don't get it to your 40, to whatever, however long it takes to really get it. What was he saying? What did he mean? You don't always understand until later. It takes time. Again, it's not easy. So there's this bechina of like the lower level of the higher aspect that Tal Oros explains builds all the aspects of the lower level. That's all you can give over, just the half. Which is like chitzonius. It's very, it's like the outer aspect. You can't give him what you really understand, what you really get from your experience, what you go through in life. Like, you can't impart that in a way that a person will understand. That's why the Chacham say that the binyan of Na'arim is a churban. When a person is mature and he makes a bad choice, it looks great. It looks like he's building. He's really destroying. And the destruction of a certain person who's an elder, it's Canaan, who understands what's really happening, that's called building. You have to know how and what and where, and he understands what you do and what you don't do. And sometimes a person thinks he understands, he doesn't understand. That's the Indian. That's how it works. So, the muscle. Sometimes you help somebody, and you're not helping them.
Yeah.
You want to help someone, but it's not helping them. You have to figure out, how do I help someone that's really helping them? How do I do something for someone that he's going to help them? Right? You have somebody who he's trying to struggle through something himself, and you tell him the answer. You didn't do him any favors. Let him sit and work it out and come to it, or see, I don't get it. Like, let him be coded, like acquire it by working it. It's not a favor when a person wants to figure something out himself, and you just smother him. It's not going to help. Sometimes I had Maseh with Tikun actually. We were first married. Maybe it's the second year, the first year, second year. There was some money in the bank at that point, or somehow, whatever. And I told two people, I'll take go to Uman. They're both into Uman. They just didn't have money. It's like, you know what? I'll give you the money. You know that money. One guy went many years later, and he was so happy. Made it to Uman, loved it, whatever. But he wouldn't go. Suddenly no money's no problem? No, I can't go for another reason. And he sort of wanted to go. I don't think they didn't want to go. It just wasn't, the money wasn't the problem. There was something else blocking it. It wasn't the money. They think the money just did a bushel. So did it help to give them the money? No, wouldn't help them. But he can't. Sometimes even worse, because he takes the money and he's going like a vacation. Does he have any real thought? He doesn't have a real desire, real interest. Could be yes. I'm not saying no. You can't judge. You have no idea. You have to really want this on some level. But we don't really know what's really going on. What's really happening inside? What's really it doesn't always help. You spoil a kid rotten. That's not helping them. A millionaire buying him a car, anything he wants, whatever you want, we'll do it for you. You're not doing him any favors. It wasn't a good thing you did. Now your kid is such a wonderful child. No, he's a brat. He's spoiled brat. Crazy. Right? Can't talk to him. Can't think. Only my way. I don't talk to you. Only my way. It's not doing me any favor. Better to have the right balance. Sometimes it looks like a shvira. You can afford it. What's your problem? It's like, no. It's not a matter of what I can afford. It's treating it the right way. Yeah. So the lower levels, you have the aspect of mashpia is on netzach. The aspect of makabel is on hod. Right? And generally speaking, how do you get the hod? Generally speaking, during the weekdays, the Bechin of Yaakov takes, right, the Bechin that's mashpia, takes the aspect of his and hers, right? Of the Makabel. She again, there's nothing. She has to just take it and just receive it. You have to get it, right? And gives it to both. Gives the Chanukah to the Malchus. Therefore, the Bechina that's called the lower aspects, that's Tafel. That's that's nullified kilo. That's the less important aspect of what that is. Right? Mm-hmm. But Chanukah not like that. So that's generally the way it works. The way it works is you have to, like Rav Nosson says, and I don't know if we're going to see a particular piece later, or we'll see. Right? Rav Nosson says that's Yosef Tzaddik, right? During the famine, he put away for 7 good years, right? And then to deal with 7 bad years. So the same thing in Avodah. You have to, like, when you're strong, that's when you put away to be able to deal with it when you're having a hard time. So you bring the negativity and bring it into the dance and break through when you're in a good state of mind. That's when you have to deal with it and be like, nah, this is not, you can't get angry like that. You can't. You have to just, in a positive, good way, be like, this is just not appropriate. I can't be that way. You know, if I'm to bring my father, I don't know which psychologist, maybe it was you, I don't know, maybe someone, Erickson, some psychologist, my father's psychologist, Rabbi also was a psychologist, so he told us a story that made an impression on me that always stuck with me, of this one lady who was prone to temper tantrums. She used to like go crazy and rip everything to shreds, destroy everything. Just like destroy. So this guy was a big expert in treatment. I don't think it was you. I think it was Erickson, if his name was, I don't remember. So Milton Friedman, maybe. I don't remember what it was. So anyway, so he once came in with the staff. He came in before the staff. He had the staff waiting outside. And he started having a very pleasant conversation with this lady. She was in a good state of mind. And he was talking to her about this and that, and what was her opinion. And the staff ran in screaming like she used to and ripped her whole room to shreds. Oh. The pillows, everything destroyed like she used to do. And he's just chatting. He's just chatting as if nothing's happening. As if it's absolutely normal, you know, everyday stuff. And she stopped doing it. She's like, I can't do this. She got it. He understood that she was in a place, but you can't get it when the person's screaming and like ripping apart the upholstery. You say, oh, you know, this is really not right. You're not going to get a message through when you're freaking out. You're panicking. Oh, don't panic. You get the place like, hey, the panic makes you more prone to fall. The different things you have to get when you're strong. You know, so you get it from the mashpia to be, and that's again this idea of hodah. You know that I really don't know what's going on. I have to do my best. Every little bit of effort counts. If I don't feel it, I don't see it. It's Kabbalah's all. I have to do what I can. This the mashpia gives also to the Kabbalah. So when you're in a good place, you have to like sort of get that aura of hodah and Avodah Hashem and appreciating all the positive you do, even though I blew it, who knows what. Fail. Don't fall weiter. Don't fall worse. Don't. This is this aspect. That's generally how it works. Chanukah is not like that. Chanukah is able to reach the times of where the lowest places, the darkest places. Chanukah gives you direct light, illumination. You're in the furthest, lowest places.
How does that work with the...
We'll see how it works. But first thing you have to know, Malchus gets the Hode, honor, I don't need the Mashpir. I just get directly from Hashem.
But we said that's what Yaakov.
That's usually
normally.
But on Chanukah, the Chanukah Purim we'll see another time. We'll talk Purim when we get to Purim. But Chanukah Purim works differently.
Again, so just to clarify, you said when Malchus gets the Hode, then everything works out.
Malchus usually can't get the Hode. When you're busy freaking out, okay, when you're having a panic attack, when you're so angry, when you just can't get yourself to move because you feel immobilized. Right. It's not the time to you know what I mean? Yeah. But, I can do it. It's just not going to happen. Yes, we can. That's not usually how it happens. Mm-hmm. You have to do that before. You have to get that from the mashpia somehow to improve that. It's got to come in from when you're in a higher state and be like, hey, this is really not, like Rav Obi says in Nali Shor. He's like, the person who's the temper tantrum doesn't understand that, he thinks, well, yeah, when you do this and this, when this happens, the appropriate response is to turn beat rate, to bang your head, bang the table, scream your lungs out, and break something. That's what's normal. He doesn't understand how terribly horrible that is. And what he's doing to people, he's terrorizing everyone. It's impossible. People doesn't know when he has a failure, when he has a difficulty, the proper reaction is not to, have 3 bags of cookies. And, bag of chips or whatever. That's not the answer. It's not going to help you. It's not. But he's in a lower state. He just can't. He just can't do it. I can't do it. So if I can't do it, so what am I? So if I can't do it, so I have to just do what I can. Like again, when you're having it, you're good. It's good. Chanukah is able to reach that spot, to touch that without the mashpia, that whole thing where you just gave it that bad state. It's just the beginner. It's called. Rav Nosson calls it bikur cholim. He's like a person like he's sick. It's the mush of a guy who's sick, and he can't move, and he's in bed. And the king, officer of the king comes to visit him. He says, "What he wants to do for the king, but he can't." He said, "No, I'm here. I'm just, convalesce, feel better, get good." He said, "I'm getting to this place in Chanukah, this realization that even though things are the darkest and I'm in the lowest place, you're supposed to put it below 10 tefachim, like we'll see. But still, you love me. You're with me. You're shining into me. It makes a difference. Everything I do is so precious." We'll see. I don't know about this time, but we'll see. Rav Nosson is an incredible thing. It's a very big kitzer, right? That you're supposed to be less than 10 tefachim. He says that the Shekhinah never went below 10 tefachim. So still, Hashem is there with you and loves you, and what you do counts. He says you have to realize that when you're so far, when I'm so low, and it's so hard for me, but I don't understand something very simple, which is that if someone's so low, well, yeah, but you know what? You put it on tzitz, you have tzitzis. You have a kippah, you have tefillin. You're so far, but you have to appreciate that. Wow, that's by me. I learned something. Wow, that's by me. I'm so far. He's like, that's a better reason to be happy. Not how to do things to be low, but like when a person feels far, then you should appreciate even more your good points. How was I zochen in this mitzvah? How did I get to do that? What shaykhs, How did I manage this? How did I all these beautiful things? Like it's the opposite. You start to understand that I'm in the darkness, but there's even more light here in a certain way. That's like the biggest door. And that's what Chanukah is about. This beginning of bikur cholim. This beginning, like the Shem Yishmuel and Rav Nosson both say, in the Golis, it's a holiday which is Yemei Achol. During the weekday, you pick up even the lowest aspect. You understand Hashem's still there. You can still do it. You can still manage, no matter what that speaks or what it means. So you have to get this place of Hode and appreciating and thanking. On the one it's so dull, like, hey, I have these problems, I have this trouble, but on the other hand, it's like being even more grateful because I'm so dark, but it's so dark, but thank you so much, even more for all the mitzvahs I do. But can have Hode as the Makabel. So usually I have to get the Hode, when I'm in a good state, be like, I really should appreciate every good thing. The truth is, when it's darkest, that's the hardest, it's most important. That's beautiful if you can get that. Wonderful. That's through the mashpia. That's when you put away during the bad times, during the good times for the bad times. But there's a higher level. There's a deeper level of Chanukah and Purim also, especially Chanukah. There's bechina of this aspect of connecting on a totally different level, totally different thing. And again, we know that really it's both elements, which I don't want to go into now, but I'll very, very quickly say about time. Says that Netach-Hode are inextricably connected, because when you want Netzach means you want to win through, which means eitzes, knowing what to do and how to do it. It's like the feet; you have to just keep going. So that's always true Netach-Hode. You have to be modeh that this isn't good, this not, or this way or that way, and then that's all that you do the eitzes. Here, the marshal. A person knows if I show up at a certain shear, I'll get chizik. If I go to Daf Yomi, I'll be good. I'll go to my chavrusa, it'll work well. But if he says, but I like to schmooze till 3 in the morning, and if I go to bed at 11, let's say his situation, before anyone else comes to the dorm, they won't wake me up if you sleep deeply, So I'll get up tomorrow morning like a normal human being. I'll make the chavrusa at 9 o'clock after davening. If not, and up to 3 in the morning talking, I'll wake up at 9:30. I'll go to daven. I'll get there 11:25 and learn for half hour for the year. It's just not going to do it for me. I don't have a very spiritual day because I didn't have the morning seder the way I should. But if you don't have that hodah of like, hey, I need to get to bed at 11, and if not, it's not going to work. The eitzah is not going to help you. The hodah, the modeh is, that's why it's so interesting with Chanukah. It's both elements, or whatever. There's a whole discussion, it's like a little bit of a steer. So bottom line is, this hodah has to also have netzach in it, and the netzach has to also have hodah in it, because it's one bechina. So that enables you the eitzes to keep moving. But very the kids, that's what Chanukah is about. Okay. Oh, Nair. No, Nair I think we're going to do next time because it's already quite late. That's Hashem. We'll continue the next time. So that's what we did now a little bit. And next time we'll do the brachas. And we'll see what happens. That's Hashem.